Hey guys. I had to pop on here really quick before I forgot this. Um, but I was just sitting there thinking, if there's something that we are wanting to manifest or something that we want to be our reality, if you want to maintain a happy mindset, if you want to maintain a mentality of freedom, and you lean into your faith by trusting in the universe, and if you truly believe that things are happening for you, if you truly believe that what is meant to be will be, you can't really be shaken up too much or let down too badly if what you're hoping for and praying for doesn't become your exact reality, or if something changes. Because if something were to change, you just know that there's going to be something better on its way. And so I guess that is to say, it's better to lean into something as if it's already true, as if it's already your reality, if it's already a part of your future, as opposed to allowing yourself to constantly question and doubt that part, if that makes sense. Because it is a choice, right? One's fear based and one is faith based, and you get to choose. And if you have faith, no matter what the outcome is, it doesn't really matter because you still maintain that faith and you know that what's meant to be will be. So if you're hoping and praying for a certain job, you're applying for jobs. This is just an example. If you're applying for jobs, let's say, and go into it with full hope. If it's something you actually want and something you're like not just doing because you have to, quote unquote, if it's something you actually want, put your all into it. Go into the interview like you already have it. Maintain that mindset leading up to your interview and while waiting for your results, right? Because that's faith based. And then if you were to not get it, then you know that, what's that saying? Rejection is divine redirection. So that was not the right job for you on this path at this time in your life. That's not the path you're meant to take. Something else better is coming and is being lined up for you. You maintain that. And so what that does is, in that time leading up to the interview, that time during and the time waiting for their response, you're not sitting in any sort of fear and worry and anxiety and what ifs, because it's unnecessary if you truly believe, if you truly have faith, right? And so this comes to play in all different parts of our lives as well, not just the little things. It's like the bigger things. So many different ways in which this actually manifests in our life, and we constantly are being given and handed the choice. So you just have to choose which one you'd rather operate within. Are you going to operate from a faith-based position, or do you want to choose to operate out of fear? Because you can't have faith without fear existing. So you get to choose which one, though. They're opposites, right? It's the duality. Do you want to operate on fear, or do you want to operate based on faith? And then choose and move forward. And that sounds so easy, but we have to continue to remind ourselves that over and over again, even with the little tiny things, right? Like if you're choosing to operate on faith, you could choose, instead of allowing your ego to get pissed off as you're driving to work and you get stuck in traffic or you get stuck behind a train and it makes you 30 minutes late, you can choose to believe that is for a reason, right? And I don't even know if this would necessarily be anything tied to fear, but it would be tied to faith. Anger, where does that arise from? If you're getting angry because you're getting stopped in traffic, I mean, you're just really trying to control. So you're not having faith. You're trying to control your life and want things to, and I think I talked about this in the last video, you want things to play out how you want them to play out. And if they don't play out that way, you're going to allow it to disrupt your internal self, your peace, your internal peace. And it's like, why? Operate on faith, and you can allow that to drop as well, right? There's no need to hold on to the control of traffic or all these tiny little things. Have faith that you were late for a reason. Maybe you would have gotten into an accident if you had been, you know, on time today. You don't actually know. And we like to act like we know everything, but it's like the fact of the matter is, I don't care if you're someone who's spiritual or not. It's like we don't actually know anything. Like I always wished I had taken a philosophy class because it's something that resonates with me so deeply. And the fact of the matter is we like to think that everything's that we have hard facts in this world, and like everything is made up. So it's like, sure, we got facts based on this set of things that we created and these things that we named. And like, you can always push something a step further and try to challenge it in a more spiritual, etheric way. But that's what people would call philosophy or philosophical concepts. But it's hilarious because I don't know enough around like quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement and all that kind of crazy stuff. Quantum mechanics, is that right? I don't know. Quantum entanglement, string theory, all this kind of stuff, right? So it's like, when we think about it, there's so much we don't actually know. So why not lean into faith and lean away from fear? Because you do get that choice. And if there's something that you feel like is an opposite of fear as opposed to faith, I'd like to hear why. Because I think those two are opposites, which means you have to have both. That's a duality, right? Which means you have a choice. You get to choose which one consciously. It's not easy, because it's a lot easier to lean into the Matrix, is what I'm going to call it. It's a lot easier to lean into that because that's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. But you do have an option. Sorry, I don't know why I've been avoiding itching my nose. But yeah, we do have an option. Okay, anything else? It's pretty crazy. Faith takes a lot. Because we're not conditioned in faith. We're conditioned in fear from like birth to, until we start our journey, I'd say. We're rooted in fear in so many different ways. It's just sewn in. Anyways, sorry if I'm thinking too long there. Actually, I'm not really sorry because you can turn the video off anytime you want. But I'm glad anyone who's continued to watch it this far. But I think that's all I have to say right now. I just wanted to pop on you really quick. I just got home from working like a 10-hour shift. Wasn't bad. Actually, it was kind of miserable in the beginning, but you guys, it was so funny. I was laughing so hard at myself. Have you guys ever been in that space where you like key in consciously? It's like I think it's happening because I'm getting more intentional and more regular with my meditation. But you like notice you're like in that seat of awareness. So I'm sitting there and starting getting more irritable and angry towards the second half of my shift, and I'm consciously in the seat of awareness noticing the anger, and so it's like cracking me up because it's just so extra, so over the top, so dramatic, and I'm just like, you guys, I probably sound like a crazy person in there because I'm literally just like talking under my breath every now and then, or just in my head, like getting pissed off, and then I'll like start laughing out loud because I'm just like cracking myself up. So ridiculous. It's so amazing. I love it. I have a lot of fun. I think part of it is I'm ready to be done with this place because it's time. I've already stayed there too long at this point. It's always been like a landing spot I go back to. But I don't know if I shared this already. I was really stuck in that, what do you call it? Lack mentality via the root chakra for a long time. And I've been working on that and healing that. And because of job security and all this like stuff, I was like, oh, I can't leave this job because, if I go somewhere else, they'll pay me less, even though I'll like it a lot more and it'll utilize my degree. And I'll be helping people and doing something I really enjoy. I just can't do it because, they're not going to be willing to pay me more. And it's just like, no, babe, there are different forms of, what's the word? Abundance? No, that's what I'm looking for. Different forms of scarcity. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to say, like, you can be abundant in other ways. Just doesn't, there's not just money, right? If I'm going to actually enjoy the work that I'm doing, I'm abundantly rich in that area. It's like, sure, they're paying me a little bit less because they're not getting tips and it's not adding up, but it's like, which one would I rather have? Something I actually enjoy doing and getting something out of and helping other people? Or something that just like makes me more and it's like easy, like no thinking type of work? Like, y'all can like whatever you like, that's totally fine. I'm just saying, for me, it's just I'm finally ready to do away with that scarcity mindset because it's just not serving me anymore. And so I'm choosing to let it go. So I guess this is kind of all an experiment of sorts as I venture into this. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And that for me can be extremely, it's terrifying, honestly. It can feel a little terrifying because you have to lean into that faith and you have to trust and you have to just keep showing up even when it's uncomfortable, even when you feel so much discomfort. But it's like, one of my professors in college always said, he's like, this is like the quote, and I loved this professor. Shout out to Dr. Marcus Sharp. But he said, we don't grow within our comfort zones. And that was the first time I'd ever heard anybody say that. And to me, it was just like so profound because I'm like, oh my gosh, because, I was a psychology major. And so just hearing that and the way that my brain works with loving to like get to the root of things. And like being someone, I grew up really shy, okay? Like I was that shy kid. I would not raise my hand in class. No, absolutely not. Not even in college. Maybe like a little bit in college, but rarely. Rarely. Hated giving speeches. Oh my God, do not. Public speaking? Absolutely not. And this isn't public speaking. This is like a lot easier. Sure, I like did like I don't know, like a poetry thing for a class in front of like a cafeteria full of kids and a couple speeches throughout college. The last one I gave in college, it was like a group presentation, but we each individually gave our like a little part in our little presentation. And you guys, I kid you not, I had like smoked some CBD before because I heard it helps with anxiety. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And like I think I got there early to try to like relax. And I somehow had managed to get through basically all of college without giving more than one. I hadn't like had any sort of in front of the classroom presentation before that day since like, I don't know, 4 years prior to that, because I had started some whatever wrong with that. Anyways, I got up there and it was bad, you guys. Like I remember I just started like reading off of my cards and I couldn't even remember what I was reading. Like I felt like I wasn't processing what I was reading. It was just like reading it. I felt like I read it so fast. Like it was a blur. And the CBD did not do anything. I swear to God, that shit made it worse. Like that was bad. I don't even know where I got here. Shoot. See, I told you guys I can go off on tangents sometimes and get lost. I don't know. Anyways, when it comes to faith and fear, you guys choose the faith because you have a choice. You have an option. We get to decide what we want to do. And I don't know why I keep looking over there. I have a poster board. Actually, I know exactly why. I have a poster board right here, and it says imposter syndrome, and my eyes keep being drawn to it. Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, so Spirit was drawing my attention to that for a reason. I think with me, this is causing a lot of imposter syndrome to come up, and I feel like that'll come up within all of us. That's what it... Okay, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. when we're doing something new and something different and we're changing and breaking old habits, we're breaking old habits, it's going to feel different. It's going to feel new. And so within that, that's where that imposter syndrome starts to come in, because you are breaking old cycles, old habits. And when you start doing that, you start acting like the new you, right? And so when you're doing that, step by step, little by little, it just feels uncomfortable because it's outside of that zone of like security and safety and what you're familiar with. And so if you're unfamiliar with something and you're trying to, not even trying, you're actively changing how you show up in the world and who you want to be seen as and how you want to talk, it starts to feel fake. It feels like you're not being you, like you don't know how to be yourself. You know, maybe because you're still discovering kind of who you are and how you want to show up in this world. So just remember that's normal, and that's a discomfort that you should cozy up to. Get closer with it, okay? Don't push it away. It's going to be something that helps you blossom into this beautiful flower that you're meant to be. So keep going, keep pushing. It's okay to feel the discomfort, okay? You should feel discomfort. The discomfort shows that you are putting in the work. The discomfort shows that you are actively changing and morphing into something else. Does that make sense? You wouldn't be feeling any sort of discomfort. You wouldn't be feeling like a fake, like a fraud, if you weren't changing. It's going to feel fake when you've been doing something and having this whole different identity in a sense. Maybe you're not changing up your entire identity. Maybe you are. Whatever the case, it's not. If you've been that person for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and suddenly you're showing up for yourself in a different way, you're interacting with people in a different way, you're choosing to be more confident, loud, to take up space, to not allow others to, utilize your energy without giving anything back. If you're doing all these different things, you're showing up. I already said that. If you're doing all these different things, it's going to make a huge difference in your biology makeup even. You're going to have to, your body has to change and adapt to that in order for it to get better. I feel like I'm trying too hard right now, and it seems like when I allow things to flow, and see, this is what I'm working on, is just allowing things to flow naturally. And when I do that and stop trying to think ahead, that's when I'm able to actually articulate the best. And for me, I don't know if it weirds you guys out, but I tend not to look into the camera a lot when I'm talking. Like, it really helps for me to think better. And I don't know why this is. Maybe there's a psychological phenomenon behind this. I'd have to look into that, which we probably know I will. But when I look down, I feel like I think that maybe I get distracted by looking at myself. And so then that makes my brain jump to something else as opposed to being in flow. Maybe that's something I need to continue to work on in regards to self-love. Maybe it's the imposter syndrome. I'm looking in here and I'm seeing myself and I'm seeing this girl talking and I'm just like, who is this girl? Is that me? And it's it starts I don't know, having this weird effect where I can't articulate and the flow stops flowing. Oh God, this is wild. Am I gonna post this? I think we're gonna do it, because who cares? If you watch this, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. If you know me, oh no. We take life way too seriously, and it's crazy. We're all here to enjoy and to play and to learn and to laugh and to love and to have so much fun, explore, and just live. And yet this system likes to make us think that we're here to be fucking work slaves, and not have a life, y'all. That's crazy to me. And no judgment on people who want to grind their ass off. That's that's your prerogative. That's what you want to do. Especially it's just wild to me that we do stuff like that if it's not even something we enjoy doing. And that it's even more wild to me when we settle for that. Like, I remember when I was little, like, the one thing I told myself, I remember this specifically, was just like, whatever I end up doing for work, it's going to be something that helps people, and it's going to be something that I love doing so much that it does not feel like work. I remember holding that thought in my mind since I was a child till this day. Like, I've gone back and forth between like wanting to go back to school and what I'd want to do. Like, and I changed my freaking, what do you call it, major so many times when I started college. I had no idea. I was just like, well, my first major I wanted to do, people somehow, and it was the money, the lack mindset. Actually, that's what happened. As I wanted to seek out psychology, but then like so many different people like convinced me that it wasn't a good position and it wasn't a good move, and that I wouldn't be able to make a whole lot of money doing that unless I went for my doctorate and like all this other stuff and go back for my master's, whatever. But it's just like I went down all these different avenues for a while, like stuff. I'm like, I look back now and I'm like, girl, what were you thinking? But it's in the end. Let me sit back. I'm talking a lot longer than I thought. In the end, I just ended up going back to psychology because that's what always felt right. And even though I'm not currently, well, I kind of am. Like, people want to be like, I'm sure there are people who would look at my situation as of now, and think that I wasted money and that I wasted time getting a psychology degree. But the fact of the matter is, I absolutely have zero regrets about it. I don't care that I'm not currently at this moment using that degree for a career, and I don't care if I have to ever explicitly need to hand it over to someone else to get a job. Well, that's actually not gonna happen. Or if I'll explicitly need to hang it on the wall to like represent myself in some sort of way. It's like, to me, getting that degree in itself has taught me so many life lessons and brought me to so many different places in my life, and has helped me on a personal spiritual level in such a big way, because it's like spirituality and psychology are very intertwined in some ways. And so being able to have the background knowledge of one, and as I learn this other one, it's just like magic for me. And I'm also able to understand people in a much better way, and myself for that matter. I already said that, that's the whole thing. But it's just crazy. Like, I don't know, we're here to live and enjoy, and to really learn, and to just have fun. Treat it like a classroom, treat it like a playground. But instead we like treat it like trash, and we hurt it. It being the earth. It's pretty crazy. I don't even know where I'm at now, you guys, with this. Man. Anyways. We all have choice in life. We get to choose and make up our own rules. Reality is what you want it to be. You just have to really, truly believe. Like, all those little sayings that were taught to us, or that we'd hear through the grapevine, all these different sayings, like, so many were misconstrued, or so many are so spot on, but we didn't really truly understand what they meant. Like that saying, you have to believe it to see it. And like, I don't know, I'm not someone who's super religious. So I've never read a single like religious text, but it's like some of the things that I do know, and like there's just so many congruencies in different ways to interpret things. Is wild. Like, when I think about the biblical Christian text, there's this passage that talks about, what is it? Oh my goodness, my brain's pooping out. I don't even know. Scratch that. Sorry, I'm tired, y'all. Oh, the flow is the real thing. I think maybe I'm over talking. I don't know. How long is this video right now? 24 minutes? Could be worse. I don't know. I don't know. Just do what you love. Do what you want to do. Show up weird. Show up unperfect, because there's literally no such thing as perfect. So if anyone's trying to convince you to, I don't even like saying strive for perfection, because it's like there's no perfect. So why are we striving for something? That means like we're putting a, I don't know. I just don't like labels like that. Like, just be you. You are perfect. How about that? As opposed to there's no perfection. You are the embodiment of perfection. Show up as yourself, however you want to show up. And know that you are worthy in any and every way that you show up. And I think when we have that understanding of worthiness, when we know that we are worthy, we're able to appreciate ourselves in any way that we show up. We show up angry, we still love ourselves, and we know that it's okay. When we show up sad, we know it's okay. When we show up with feeling embarrassed or just anything, just knowing that it's okay to feel those things and that you are still worthy in that moment. When we're able to like hold that and understand that, we don't sit in those spaces. We just feel them instead. When we're able to feel them, we can move through them. They don't control us. We appreciate all of them. Just like me laughing my butt off how angry I was getting earlier at work. But it's just like, it was almost like there was these two people within me, right? There's like this one that would immediately just get pissed off and start talking about murdering her coworkers. I get a little dramatic, okay? And then there was this other side who's like, girl, chill out. You're way dramatic right now. This is over the top. And just would find it hilarious. And it just kept going back and forth. It's just like, you don't get controlled by one if you hold space for it and know that you're worthy even in that moment. Oh man, I don't even know if I'm going to post this time, because this is a wild one, I feel like. But then again, if you watch it, you watch it. If you don't, you don't. Humans have brain farts. We all make mistakes. But what it is being vulnerable, and being vulnerable is what's difficult for us. But we're only unable to be vulnerable because we don't fully embody self-love. Because if we fully loved ourselves in all forms, in all capacity, there'd be no need to be afraid of being vulnerable. Because we're afraid of being vulnerable because we're afraid of being hurt or judged or misconstrued or seen in a certain light. But if we fully embody self-love, truly and deeply, we don't care about any of those things at all. So vulnerability ain't nothing but a chicken wang. I don't know why I just said that. And it's still easier to do, I feel like, in this capacity, because it's via a camera, as opposed to being like, I don't know, just sitting in a room full of people and someone's like, talk for 30 minutes, and then I just start rambling like this and like have all these weird pauses. And it seems unconnected but also connected at the same time, and maybe people are following me and maybe they're not. That feels like it'd be more vulnerable for sure than just this, especially when I don't have all of the followers right now. Maybe I won't. Maybe no one will see this video. Maybe no one will watch it through all the way. Ow. So if you did, shout out to you. Man, I used my wrists a lot at work today. But yeah, shout out to you if you watched this all the way through. And congrats. You're a freaking rock star, man. Ow. Alright, I'm gonna go because my freaking wrist is like ballooning up, man. Dang. Okay. I love you guys. Have a great night.